Hi, my name is Gigi, and I printed out my cultural journey quilt. So it probably is showing up backwards, but I'll do my best to just go through all of it. So first and foremost, the first thing that came to mind for my identity or multicultural identity was the Peruvian flag, and I put a little llama here, and also Machu Picchu, because these are two, big symbols of Peruvian culture. I am the first in my family to be born in the United States. Both my parents were born in Peru, so it just felt important to note that, and that I feel very connected to the Peruvian culture. Like that's like my main, I think, my main cultural identity, I would say. But then I also put here like a little German girl, and then the English like flag, because my grandfather is like part German as well as Peruvian, and then my grandmother is part or was part English as well as Peruvian. So so that felt important to note and to acknowledge, that even though it's not as like in the forefront of my identity, that is still like, I just want to honor the fact that like my ancestors are from there as well, and like that's how I'm here today. So hopefully one day I can go to Germany and England. I would love to visit those places as well. I have a little cowgirl boot here because Texas is a very important state, or a very important place to me as well. My grandmother lived part like half the year in Texas and then half the year in Peru, so I would go to Texas a lot to visit, and I just have a lot of good memories there, so that felt important. The tea also goes with with England, because my grandmother used to send me a bunch of different teas and stuff like that, so I associate her with like tea, and I love tea as well. The sunflower is also representative of my grandma. Like, as you can see, I had a very close connection with her. She did pass away, and the sunflower is like her favorite flower. So I just feel like this is a symbol of my grief journey, or like kind of that was my first real loss. And I just realized through that like American culture and society is very not well equipped to deal with grief or people who are grieving. And so I actually, through her loss and through like my very real depth of grief that I have felt, and I mean still continue to go through this day, that I actually started thinking about like, oh, that could be a space to pursue as a counselor, just kind of helping people through their grief journeys or like transitions of life and like things like that. So yeah, so that's just kind of what that symbolizes there. And then, kind of following that is like the phoenix rising from the ashes, resiliency. My mom, she's a single mom to me and my two siblings, so that feels important to just kind of honor. And I mean, all of the cultural, like all of the places that I've mentioned, and every culture has their own story of resiliency, so I just wanted to honor that here. This is all about community and connection, and like why I feel called to be a counselor. I'm very involved in my community, and I feel like community is really helpful for mental health, emotional health and wellness, physical health and wellness, like just people being connected, and having people to talk to and feel supported. That's really important. So I mean, ideally I fantasize about having like my own practice in like my community space. I go to church on Sundays and I volunteer when I can, so to be known as a person in that space of like, oh yeah, she's like a counselor, like you can go talk to her, things like that would be really amazing. Let's see, and kind of, just the balancing of the heart and the mind, connecting to others, group work, that would be really wonderful to explore. I have done group work before in like mental health, so I do love like connecting others to other people who have things in common as well. Let's see, and then here I have it looks like no like alcohol, basically. I mean, I don't mind if others drink, obviously, but I have alcoholism in my family, and I stopped drinking 3 years ago. I never felt like I struggled with alcoholism, but I did have to reevaluate my relationship with alcohol, and it just really wasn't doing anything for me. I felt like, if anything, it was kind of taking away some of my quality of life, because honestly, my hangovers were just really, really bad, and I didn't feel good spending time being sick when like you know, that just didn't even need to happen. So anyway, I just stopped. I stopped drinking cold turkey 3 years ago after my birthday that year, and I haven't drank since, and I've been really loving it and enjoying it. So yeah, so that feels important, and kind of identifying, I guess, as like a child of an alcoholic, and like seeing how that affects my, like, how that affected my family and my life. And so being able to connect with others in that way feels really important. I have someone with curly hair here. As you can see, I have big curly hair. Unfortunately, I used to straighten my hair all the time. My mom has curly hair, and I straighten her hair all the time. Still does to this day. She never taught me how to take care of it, unfortunately. So I grew up kind of wanting to kind of almost like erase that part of me. And so now it's been a couple years where I've just fully embraced my natural hair, my natural curls, the texture, and that's been its own journey of just kind of self-love, and like, you know, not needing to assimilate the way that I think my mom felt the pressure to. So yeah, so kind of just breaking that pattern. I put the hearts down here as just kind of like an undercurrent of love. Everything I do and say, and you know, the word, like how even in my job, I try to act from a place of love and just kind of center love in the middle of everything, if that makes sense. And that helps me that helps like guide me, I guess. What else? Oh, over here we have some like spiritual. I wouldn't consider myself religious, but I am very spiritual. So, you know, tarot, astrology. I mean, I've studied astrology since I was like 12 years old. I mean, that's always been a part of my life. And just honoring the fact that it comes from like Eastern ideologies and Eastern, you know, philosophies. I think that's a really beautiful way to kind of incorporate. And I do feel like that multicultural aspect within me is from there as well. Just better ways to like ways to better get to know yourself and others in a deeper way. You know, meditating, feeling like that connection to the universe, to God, is how I understand it, to anything. So, and just kind of like mindfulness, like that's something that I try to practice as well. And then I have here lipstick, just, you know, symbolizing that I am a woman. I am, you know, kind of embracing my divine femininity, being fully present as a woman, and connecting to other women and just hearing other women's stories of like what they've been through. Kind of, yeah, that just feels important to me. And then last but not least, I have here like a little CD player. And that's just really symbolizing the fact that I am a 90s baby. I was born in 1992, so being raised in the 90s and early 2000s, as a millennial, so to speak, like that is a part of my identity and my culture. And it's really interesting, I think, to just to see the way that millennials are navigating life and how different it looks from the generation before. At least for me, I feel like I am kind of trying to break some generational patterns or curses, you know, and just live in a different way, while still honoring like how I was raised, or like, you know, what my parents and what like the generation before me like went through, essentially. So yeah, so that's kind of my whole thing here. I hope that it makes sense, and I hope that it maybe resonates with some of y'all, and looking forward to seeing what y'all have as well. So thank you so much.